take that Sun Belt Conference tournament. And there they are, Crook, Price, Gordon, the freshman who leads them in scoring and rebounding, along with Fant and a Cole. Meanwhile, Mississippi State, as Steve said, heavy senior squad. Arrington, though, is a freshman. Burwell, Joyner, Crosby, and Studevant. For head coach Sean Woods, what does he have a tie to this tournament history? And it's how sweet it is. Let's get it underway. And the tip controlled. Well, for a moment, the Hilltoppers had it, but it ends up in the hands of Terrence Joyner. And here are the Hilltoppers on defense with the Delta Devils in the white uniforms here.
We heard Ray Harper tell Tracy his team has to take care of the ball. Mississippi Valley State, a team that's going to trap and press and try to double team, force turnovers. They can shoot the three, too.
That's a three-point shot by Crosby, who was the conference player of the year. And boy, did they storm through that conference. They had a 17-game win streak, very nearly went through the season undefeated in conference play, lost the last regular season game, and then closed them out, everybody in the conference tournament. Western Kentucky missing from the corner. That was a Cole who comes off of one of his biggest games.
His biggest in his career, a career high 23 in that championship game for Western Kentucky.
He was spectacular.
He sure was, Steve. He made all kinds of shots, inside, outside, post-ups.
That's a talented team, too. Tony Mitchell.
Stolen away by Crook. Takes it to the hole, misses the shot off the glass. Follow-up, no. And controlled by Studevant.
You always expect some nerves here early in these tournament games, particularly in your first-round game.
Hilltoppers had a couple of close-range shots, including T.J. Price, and that shot is swatted away by a Cole. Tinga Cole setting up the Toppers. 3-on-1, and Crook shot will count. Off the goaltend, it hit the glass. First two of the tournament.
Excellent defense leading to a fast break opportunity. A Cole with the denial, and then Gordon pushes ahead right away, has his head up, and Crook able to fill the lane and finish.
Burwell, their top assist man, off the glass for two of his own. And the first points of the game for the Delta Devils. Kevin Burwell actually led the entire conference in assists this year, senior from Philadelphia.
Really a crafty player, Jim. Shoot the three, has change of pace dribble, not blinding quick, but knows how to get into the paint.
This is Tinga Cole. Stuck for a moment. Crosby forced him to give it up outside. Price to the corner. Jump shot. Off the mark. That's Fant, the freshman. The rebound. Taking it back out. Here's Crook. That's a two, and he buries it. He got the first score of the game for Western Kentucky.
He's only averaged 6 points a game in his last half dozen, Jim, and they shot it poorly. But a good start here for him tonight.
What a pass from Fant, too, off the offensive board. You love that when your big man looks right out at you if you're a perimeter shooter, because you know the defense is scrambled.
Crook comes out with the rebound, takes it down the floor. Outside. Here's Crook. Doubled up, and he traveled.
Checking in for Western Kentucky, number 41, Vinny Silva.
And we've got our first subs of the game.
You made the point of it, Steve. Offensive rebound, patience, poise, and nice delivery. And Crook, the beneficiary, and able to knock down a wide-open jumper.
I like what he did, too, stepping inside that three-point line. He's just 24% from the stripe, so not a guy who's really proficient from out there. So step in, make it an easier shot.
Well, the guy who just came in to replace him is proficient from that three-point line. About 15 three-point field goals made in the tournament.
Beautiful shot by Burwell. The two subs coming in for Western Kentucky. We'll see him handling here. First, you've got Khalil McDonald with the ball right now, the senior from Brooklyn, along with Vinny Solo, freshman from Winchester, Kentucky.
Khalil has been terrific of late. McDonald forces that one, though, and Delta Devil is off and running.
Here's a three-point shot. No. Off the mark by Arrington. Chased down by Gordon. to Gordon from New Jersey. He's a scorer and a rebounder. St. Patrick's High School.
Nice looking young player. Drives right into traffic there in a held ball.
And the arrow belongs to Western Kentucky as we reach our first break. Brook has all 4 for the Hilltoppers. Burwell all 4 for the Delta Devils.
Probably asking a lot of questions about what's actually going on in the game right now.
Well, he'll be hosting his own big event here later in 2012 at the Summer Olympics coming to London. London 2012. Got a foul here on Burwell as the president's explaining what just happened on that last inbounds play.
I don't think we've ever had a president who was a bigger basketball fan. I can't recall Obama in my lifetime.
President Clinton, of course, was a huge Arkansas fan, and he followed him in that '94 championship season to the regionals. And then on, that was in Dallas, and then on to Charlotte, watched him win the championships. Lost over the way here in Mississippi State. Whistle outside as Terrence Joyner's making a few nifty moves and drew the foul on Fant.
Nice job just to get the shoulders by Fant and draw the foul. Joyner, the second leading scorer on this team, Mississippi Valley State. A guy who can shoot it from the three-point line, and as he showed you there, he has the ability to go off the dribble. He is lightning fast, and I think the key when you guard Mississippi Valley State, it's about staying in front of your man individually. You know, they're going to go one-on-one a lot. They really want to get out in transition, but when they don't, their half-court execution is not great. So you've got to stay in front of your guy and force them to execute. Excellent point, and I got this terminology from Thad Motta, the head coach at Ohio State. Guard your yard. Guard your yard. Guard your yard. Yard meaning 3 feet, not your whole yard. But it reinforces the points you're making, being able to individually keep your guy from beating you easily.
Joyner makes 1 or 2. Mississippi Valley State has its first lead. Cook gets it back down high to Fant. Gordon with 3 on the shot clock. Donald has to take it. Back to the rim. And the rebound chased down by Studevant.
He's really solid. Doesn't do anything very flashy, but does everything solid and very much plays within himself.
Well, that play was a little out of control, but gotten right back. And the Delta double jumper is good by Arrington, the freshman from Baltimore, who actually lit up North Carolina with 33 points at Chapel Hill early in the season. Fant is fouled at the other end. I believe it's on Crosby.
Jim, that North Carolina game you mentioned was the one that Sean Woods talked about yesterday when we visited with him. He said, that's when I knew we had something. Even though we got blown out, we really were able to hang with them for spurts in that game. And we'll talk more about that brutal non-conference schedule that Mississippi Valley State played. But I think, you know, when you look at some of the clubs they went against, not only Carolina, but Notre Dame, South Carolina, Arkansas, Florida, it got them prepared for the type of athleticism they're going to see in this tournament.
There you see the winner of this game will take on the #1 overall seed Kentucky on Thursday. And the first game of the nighttime session there in Louisville. Fant with 1 more.
We'll get another one, I think.
They got a lane violation on Arrington.
Mm-hmm.
There's Sean Woods. Imagine if he had the chance. If his Delta Devils could win this game, he'd be going against his alma mater.
You know, he made a great point yesterday when you asked him, what'd you think about coming to Dayton for the first 4? He said, I love it because normally a 16th seed has to go right in and play one of the top teams in the country. This gives us a chance to win a game.
Yeah, never won a game. The school has never won a game in the tournament. Trying to make history, and that is rejected by Solo as Cor-J Cox went up for the dunk. What a play by Vinny Zolo. Now that would be a big thing to get that first win. They've drawn that 16 assignment on the other 4 trips to the NCAA tournament. And he played a very noteworthy bunch from Duke to Ohio State to Georgetown to UCLA.
Royalty in college basketball. One of the things about this Mississippi Valley State team, you look at the stats and the numbers, and they shoot 40% from the floor, low 30s from three, don't really do anything exceptionally well other than speed teams up and spurt on you 2 or 3 times during the game, and that's typically how they win. The more chaotic the pace, the more frenetic, that's when they seem to thrive. So keep an eye on that, folks. Mississippi Valley State wants to speed things up and create havoc and make it almost a little bit like a schoolyard game, and then be able to thrive in the open court.
That is called on Fant, as Arrington did a nice job of drawing the charge. That's 2 on one of the premier players for the Hilltoppers, who averages 10 points a game. Good job by Arrington.
Excellent job there. He was aware, understood where the ball was, wasn't hugging his man, was defending the ball, and drew a charge.
Lob to Cox, and it's off his hands. So you got the interesting angles. If Mississippi Valley State goes on to win, you got Woods going against Kentucky, but then you got the other matchup. Hilltopper win here, Western Kentucky against Kentucky in Louisville. Now, that would draw a little interest, too.
Oh, yeah. Pretty good season for the state of Kentucky. 4 of the 6 Division I schools in the bracket with Louisville and Murray State as well.
The Bluegrass State, the Commonwealth, well represented. And Cole comes up short with that shot. Cox saves it. Saves it smartly over to Joyner.
Well, that was nice execution, though, by Western Kentucky to get a high-quality shot. Made multiple passes and got it in the paint.
Crosby outside. He'll take the long jumper. And it's pulled down by Gordon.
And a terrific rebounding guard, Jim.
Isn't he? He's their top rebounder. He's 6'2". Crook with the pull-up jumper. Rims out, and there's Gordon. He had it rejected and taken away by Arrington. Up ahead, and Joyner has the basket.
That's the price you pay, though, if your guard goes to the offensive glass. Now your defensive balance is not quite there, and the Delta Devils take advantage.
And another turnover as Crook lost control and threw it over the head of his teammate. Here you see Joyner converting. Joyner, who was talking about Arkansas earlier. He originally signed with the Razorbacks out of high school. Did that young man right there who scored the basket for the Delta Devils. The 9-5 lead. Traveling.
Pretty good defense there from Cole. Mississippi Valley State has gone to their small lineup. They've taken Studevant off the floor and put in Cor-J Cox kind of as the small 4. This is when they really like to spread you out and let Crosby go to work down low. But nice defense there, negated that move.
Here's defense by William Pugh, number 1 for Mississippi Valley State. It's the headband defending, seeing his first action. Cole. And the rebound over into the arms of Joyner. Western Kentucky's missed this last 7, and Pugh dunks it home. Wow. And he had to hold on for protection just to avoid any kind of injury on that one.
The momentum of his speed obviously put him in a vulnerable position, and he had to get that rim held in order to come down softly.
The junior from Greenwood, Mississippi.
Look at this swarming defense. This is what Mississippi Valley State likes to do.
Inside, Snipes banks it home. So a wild scramble, and Western Kentucky has his first basket in over 6 minutes.
Well, if they can take care of the ball, there will be opportunities like that.
There's a shot, long and tapped out to Zolo. That was Cor-J Cox who attempted the jumper. He's a first-team all-SWAC player. And he only started 1 game this year. To the corner, Zolo with a 3, and it's good. And the Hilltoppers are within 1.
He's a good-looking freshman. This is a team that is dominated by freshmen. 5 of the top 7 players, in fact. So I think this is a club you could see in the tournament, possibly in the coming years. And Zolo, pretty nice player, can shoot it. Excellent passer for a big man as well.
So that's going to be a foul on Gordon as the teams head to the benches.
Western Kentucky foul.
Q comes in off the bench with an electrifying highlight in the tournament.
Open three, but that's excellent basketball. He's under control, jump stop, simple pass, right on time and on target.
Now, partner, you can't telestrate right over the president, okay? You can't do that.
Hey,
now, I know you're talking to him at halftime. You can apologize then. You go back and look at it.
It would be you. It would be you to notice something like that, Jim.
And the shot is blocked as Crosby almost gets it back on the floor. As right back into the hands of Mississippi Valley State. Up ahead for two, it's Arrington.
I'll tell you what, Western Kentucky's going to have to adjust to this speed and the defense that they're seeing. That's 6 turnovers now. McDonald with a couple of them.
And Jamal Crook ready to check in.
He's on the line.
He's the starting point guard guy, so he's going to be reinserted.
Checking in for Western Kentucky.
Play the official NCAA.com March Madness Bracket Challenge. The game closes at halftime. So log on to NCAA.com right now to get your picks in. There's still time. 7 turnovers so far by the Hilltoppers. Studevant. Outside, nice move. And the shot goes out of bounds, goes to Western Kentucky.
Checking in for Western Kentucky.
And the Hilltoppers. Akamene comes in. Okara Akamene from Miami, a sophomore. You were talking about how young this team is. Both of you were. Western Kentucky, out of the 300-plus Division I programs in college basketball, the 6th youngest in the nation. Here they are with that streak, earning their way to the tournament. Cole is stuffed. And then off the floor, the tip, no. And that foul calls against Brent Arrington of the Delta Devils.
Sean Woods is furious with his team for not boxing out, but this is a pretty small lineup on the floor. He's got Cor-J Cox playing the 4, as we talked about, and it helps speed-wise to really get them into their pressing and trapping. But again, if you can get to the rim, if you can take care of the ball, there are going to be opportunities for scores and offensive putbacks.
What a job done by Sean Woods. Again, part of that Kentucky lore. The Unforgettables with Pelfrey, Feldhouse, Richie Farmer that nearly pulled off that 92 regional final. It was Woods who hit the shot with 2.1 seconds to go over Leitner. The shot before the shot. In his 4th year now here on the bench for Mississippi Valley State and taking them to the tournament. He really had to completely rebuild the program, and he's done a masterful job of it. Here's a 3-pointer. And a rebound into the hands of Western Kentucky. Nice outlet pass to McDonald. McDonald is going to be called for the charge.
Ooh, tough call.
Yep.
Looked like Burwell slid over into him.
And I thought McDonald had a pass to the left wing, elected to go himself, and that gave Burwell time to size him up and anticipate his drive. But I agree with you, Steve. It appeared as though Burwell was not quite in legal guarding position there.
Studevant. Short with the left-handed shot into the hands of a Cole. Rice gets it across. Crook scored the first 2 baskets of the game.
Well, one of the reasons they were able to win the Sun Belt Conference Championship is Cole gets to the rim and scores. But they started knocking down shots. McDonald in particular made 13 threes in 4 games. I think they're going to have to make some threes here tonight to loosen up this defense of Mississippi Valley State.
Another thing they did is they kept coming from behind in every one of these games.
That's right.
Double digits
They
on many occasions. And a rebound out of the air by Cole. And he is fouled. No, they did really find a way to win, didn't they?
They sure did.
To find it.
And part of it was the good half-court defense and the 3-point shot making that you talked about, Steve.
There's the game's only 3, and the game is tied in the first half.
it all along, right? You didn't have to look it up or anything.
Clark Kellogg, how about this game so far?
Well, neither team is a really good shooting team, and we're seeing that combining 11 of 37 from the floor, only 1 of 7 from the three-point line. But I figured it would be competitive because both of these teams play so hard and persist in doing what they want to do. Western Kentucky wants to play in the half court. Mississippi Valley State wants to try to speed you up and get in transition and put together a couple of game-changing spurts.
Here's Crook long with the shot. Right into the hands of Burwell. And the point for the Delta Devils. Swings it around. Snappy passing to the corner. Almost set up the three, and that's the rebound down low by Crosby.
That's a good look at the three. The floor was spaced nicely. And a good look for Joyner, who's about 39% from behind the arc.
And that's
38% actually.
Yeah, that's their best offense. You know, take a missed shot or a steal, get out in transition, and move the ball for an open look. But if I'm Western Kentucky, I feel pretty good right now. 8 turnovers already. We couldn't play any worse. Transition defense has been bad, and here we are tied. So they've got to just settle down and get into their game.
Well, not having George Fant on the floor really limits some of what Western Kentucky wants to do in the half court.
He's been out for a while with the 2 fouls. Here's the three-point shot, dips down and out. That was Joyner who nearly knocked it down from three-point territory. Then a foul call against Arrington. That will be his second. Mississippi Valley State now 0 for 6 from 3.
You know, Jim, they make about 8 a game on average on 23 attempts. So about 33% they shoot from the three-point line. And again, it's not necessarily the percentage that they make, but it's the volume that they take, and can they put together a couple in a frenetic pace to create some distance between themselves and the opponent.
Sean Woods, he was an assistant for a while at High Point down in North Carolina. Texas A&M Corpus Christi, TCU. Going against Ray Harper, who came home very loyal to his family, to his state. Had many opportunities, has won some big championships. Inside, Akamene is able to draw the foul after he had just been whistled for one at the other end.
It's easy to see where Sean Woods was influenced in his coaching career. And it really came from his playing days at Kentucky. I mean, Rick Pitino, remember those clubs, especially back then, would trap all over the floor, and they'd try to speed you up. They'd jump pick and rolls and trap, and they'd also, you know, funnel players in and out. So Sean has taken that philosophy and brought it here. I mean, he's really trying to speed the game up and playing a Rick Pitino style.
And then an assistant, as I mentioned, at Texas A&M Corpus Christi, to Ronnie Arrow, and then to Neil Doherty, a Roy Williams disciple at TCU. So he's been around some big ones. Now, 7 straight misses from the floor. It ends right there as Pugh hits the outside shot, and it's a 2.
Pugh's come out and played with some confidence here. He's looking for his shot, looking to get out in transition.
Down low, the pass is stolen. Patchkovich just comes into the game and snaps it up ahead to Joyner. Pugh makes the move, dishes down low, and Solo with the contact. And actually,
I think it's
they're going to call it a jump ball.
Yeah.
So Zolo able to tie him up, but the arrow will stay at this end.
Well, I like Zolo's activity. I mean, he knocked down the 3 earlier, and he's in the middle of a lot of things inside.
This is Patchkovich from Serbia. Freshman. Crosby fouled in the act of shooting.
I think this is a guy that Mississippi Valley State would like to see get going. He's been in double digits in 14 of his last 15. Really a powerful player down low, and also has a nice shooting touch. He can take you out to the three-point line.
Well, he did something this season. Talking about making threes. This young man at the line, Paul Crosby, a senior from Lansing, Michigan. Looked like in the late stages of his high school career he might be playing at Michigan State. He ended up landing here at Itta, Mississippi Valley State. In back-to-back home games, February 18th, February 20th, he hit game-winning threes in the last second to beat Prairie View one game, Texas Southern in the next.
Not a bad week.
Not a bad week. That hero at home, back-to-back. Solo short. That's Crosby with the rebound.
But you're right, Clark. They've got to get him going. He's the key to this club, because when he can go inside and score a little bit, the team gains confidence, and they like to play off of him. That's why they're continuing to pound it into him to try to get him into a groove.
On the floor, it's picked up by Price, taken off. And it's going to be a block call against Mississippi Valley State. Well, he was determined to take that all the way to the hole.
Yeah, he made up his mind right away. He gets the orange and coming right at us.
Draws the second foul on Pugh.
Yeah, Pugh stepped in there, clearly slid into Price there.
Here's a freshman now from Slidell, Louisiana. Just across Lake Pontchartrain from the Final Four city of New Orleans. Coming up, AT&T at the half, and at halftime, again, Clark will talk live with President Obama and British Prime Minister David Cameron. All coming up on AT&T at the half. Is our partners over here still writing down a few questions. He's got the list pared down to his top 50.
You guys help me pare it down. I've got some input, and I'll try to see if I can get your questions in front of the president.
What an incredible experience for you.
A terrific honor and opportunity.
My partner's done it. He's got a nice relationship with the president. He's interviewed him the last 2 years during the NCAAs, a couple of years.
Had an opportunity. Vern Lundquist and I, he joined us at the table during a Georgetown-Duke game back in January of 2010. Then the infamous POTUS game that the president and I had a couple of years ago. As a matter of fact, one of the questions might be, is there a rematch in store somewhere down the line?
That came right down to the wire, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Your own version of horse.
Yes, that's right.
POTUS, President of the United States.
I jumped out to an early lead. The president got his wind, his legs, and his mojo, and I couldn't stop the momentum.
Just to beat the shot clock.
Got the rim, too, and a nice job by Burwell.
Yeah, that was Joyner alertly putting it up, and it grazed the rim to prevent the shot clock violation, and it stays at this end.
So if you're playing horse, or POTUS as you call it, against the president, at any point you think, maybe I should let him win?
I didn't think that, actually, but I was off to such a good start that I felt like maybe I should alter things.
Maybe keep it close.
Yeah, and then when that happens, sometimes you can't get the momentum back, Steve. Tell you what, both of these teams, guys, have not shot it well, but you certainly don't lack for energy and effort and intensity out here. I mean, both of these teams are getting after it.
Well, man, did that have some hang time.
With the left.
That would work in POTUS. That would be a classic POTUS shot there.
Coming out with it is Burwell. And reaching it from behind to knock it out. It'll come back to Mississippi Valley State. Out of the break. 3:26 to go in the half. And this is what we were talking about. He's won 4 national championships, Coach Harper. 2 in Division II at Kentucky Wesleyan. Up the road from Bowling Green, the side of Western Kentucky University, up in Owensboro. And 2 at Oklahoma City. NAIA titles, and that's a foul call against Mississippi Valley State. It's called on Joyner, his first.
Let's take a look. The restricted area arc, and clearly the defender was outside of that arc and able to draw the foul.
Jim, you talked about Coach Harper and taking over at midseason. There's a reason these players immediately responded to him, and it's because of that experience. They know his history of coaching really good basketball teams.
Yeah, he's a winner. He's got over 400 games on the sideline as a head coach with over 80% win percentage. Up ahead. And a foul call as Cox went up for the shot. Maybe he was going to try to dunk it, but he had his arms taken away. Foul call on Price, his first.
This is the third time we've seen this. Transition and nothing back defensively for Western Kentucky. And that's what happens when you penetrate and you send everybody to the offensive glass. You're really vulnerable. And I'm sure Harper's going to talk to his guys about that at halftime.
And there is Cox getting on the board with his first point. He averages 11 a game. And again, he comes off the bench and he still made first team all Southwestern Athletic Conference.
And he was actually MVP of the SWAC tournament. He had 40 points and 27 rebounds in the 3 games there.
A perfect guy to have at the front of your press. And you see him there right on the ball now. Long arms, bouncy, covers a ton of ground. And as soon as the ball is entered, he'll more than likely trap on the ball. And here he goes, yeah.
That was the second free throw. There was a lane violation on the Delta Devils. Western Kentucky now has gone almost 6 minutes without a basket.
Still only down by 4, Jim. And Mississippi Valley State not able to pull away.
And Fant on the bench with those 2 fouls.
And Gordon, their leading scorer, has not
That's 5 seconds.
put up a single point.
He had an inadvertent whistle. I don't think there was a call, but I thought 5 seconds. He was hemmed in pretty good. They're going to confer here.
It felt like 5 seconds.
It sure did. It really
felt like
did.
15 seconds.
Yeah. But this is what they do. Anytime you're in a vulnerable spot on the floor, on the sideline, like McDonald is there, they're going to come after you. And they're going to trap you, and they're long-armed and athletic. And then the 3 guys on the weak side, they're going to play a zone and go for a steal.
Look at Sean Woods right in the middle of that.
Just was told by one of the officials an inadvertent whistle.
Yeah, he was appealing. You saw him putting up the 5 fingers.
Right, exactly.
He wanted that 5 count.
Well, sometimes the clock in our heads moves a little faster than the official count.
By the way, they do not, of course, reset the shot clock, so it's at 5. Crook drives in, lost the handle, but it goes off the fingertips of Cox. It was not a change of possession, so 2 seconds to get off a shot here for the Hilltoppers. And there's the shot. And that prevents the breakaway opportunity because of the violation.
I'd like to see that change. If
I was going to say the same thing.
If there's clear possession and it's simultaneous with the clock expiring and the possession being retained, let's play basketball.
And I know the reason they've hesitated to make that change is because there's a little gray area. What if a guy catches it and then the ball's knocked away? But you're penalizing the defense really by stopping the game. Yeah.
Inside of 2 minutes to go in the first half. 19-15. Mississippi Valley State. Burwell. And he draws the foul on Western Kentucky.
I really like the way this little guy handles his business out there. He's not very big, again, not super quick, but crafty. And actually, he and Sean Woods butted heads early in his career, and this young man just continued to persist and get better, and is really their most indispensable player now.
That foul was on Crook. It'll be a 1-and-1 here for Burwell.
You know, Sean Woods said a couple of years ago, I was trying to run him out of town because he kept turning the ball over. Now I can't do without him.
Well, they said it was in the act of shooting, so he's going to get another one.
Really glad to see the success for Sean Woods. He's worked extremely hard each year. This team has gotten a little bit better in the win column, culminating with this trip to the tournament. Bright, promising young coach.
And this is their year. You know, 5 out of the top 7 players are seniors. This is what they've been gunning for. And we heard a little bit of that in the pregame talk in the locker room. They talked about all the work they've put in over the years, and it's paid off.
Crook off the glass. A Cole right back with it. Ting a Cole.
Basketball team, a Cole.
He played 1 year of basketball at Oklahoma State before transferring out. Into the paint. Instead of that, blocked by a Cole with that in. And it's Crook in the corner. Might need some help. He doubles eight.
The pass with 2 guys on him. He can create a mismatch or a numbers advantage.
Donald. That pass right into the hands of Mississippi Valley State.
Well, I think Western Kentucky dribbled themselves out of opportunities there, Steve.
Yeah, no question. Throw the ball ahead.
Here's Crosby. Missing on the 3, and that is going to be a foul call on Cox. They're now 0 for 8 from 3, but they lead by 3. The Delta Devils, and again coming up next on this floor, a matchup of 14 seeds, the last 2 in, Iona and BYU.
Great matchup.
It really is. I mean, both teams amongst the nation's leaders in points per game. Iona actually #1 in scoring in the country. And BYU not very far behind. Both teams love to push it, have excellent talent and shot makers. If they play to their level, we could be in for some kind of treat in the second matchup.
Cole hits the front end of the 1-and-1 with 49 seconds to go.
Pretty good stat line for a Cole, stuffing that stat sheet. Points, rebounds, and blocks in a 1-point game now.
Ball stripped out, last touched. Western Kentucky, 15 on the shot clock, 29 seconds to go in the half. And Sean Woods wants to bring his team to the bench.
Timeout, Mississippi Valley.
His team is leading by 1, closing seconds, first half. And the winner of this one advancing to the second round to face Kentucky on Thursday down in Louisville. We got 10 on the shot clock. And that's Burwell. And they've got their first 3 of the night.
30-point basket,
Kevin Burwell, and he was way out there. And a timeout called by the Hilltoppers.
Western Kentucky went to a zone. That was the first time we've seen that, and Burwell takes advantage.
On and see if you can turn them over again. Western Kentucky, on the other hand, has to get it in and then advance the ball with the pass. Don't try to dribble through this pressure. They back off now, so you bring it up and run your set.
Maybe they can get Derek Gordon a shot here before the half. Their leading scorer. Here he is. He's not hit a shot so far in this game. 3 to go, and there's Gordon. Gordon with the 3, no, and a rebound by Cox. And we reach halftime in Dayton with Mississippi Valley.
And the resilience of his team during this recent stretch, and they're going to need it because they did not look poised at all. As Tracy said, I mean, they were out of whack, and maybe it was just the moment. Maybe they can settle down now.
On the floor, and it's another turnover, the 14th of the game. And a tie up, and this arrow is going to go to Mississippi Valley State. Buck, I thought the president had it right about these players being nervous, you know, big stage here.
He was very much on top of it. That's exactly part of what we saw in that first half.
And the Prime Minister seemed to be grasping things in a hurry. His first ever basketball game.
So he's picking the Buckeyes, huh?
Well, he's head to the Final Four.
Yeah.
I don't think his bracket has been revealed yet, but he has filled it out, I understand. And I think we'll see it at some point tomorrow.
Boy, there's another 3 by Burwell. He's got half the points for the Delta Devils. Hit that 3 right before the half. And hits another one here in the first minute of the second stanza. Largest lead of the game for either side. It's at 7. Cook slides inside. Well defended. Cole has it taken away. And the big bodies of Mississippi Valley State defending there. Crosby coming away with it.
Turnovers on the first 2 possessions. And Clark Hughes talked about something in the first half. A Cole with a nice block there, but just too much dribbling for Western Kentucky.
Here's a shot inside, and for the first time tonight, Gordon is on the board.
That was the effective use of the dribble there, as Gordon able to get all the way to the rim. I think it's important that Western Kentucky attack for scores, but they've got to do it in a smart fashion. And it has to start with squeezing the orange. You've got to take care of the ball.
Arrington comes back down with it, had it stripped for a moment. Shot clock at 10. Burwell was aware of it. He looked up. Floor general for the Delta Devils. Takes it down to the baseline, gets it away in time, and he hits another one. And he looks over at the president and says, "How did you like that?"
Little fella spraying it from deep.
I guess you only have one shot at that in your life, right?
Oh,
you got a chance to stare at the president? Might as well.
Crook tapped up and in.
Starting to find a little offensive rhythm now here, guys. Back to back to back hoops. I think that's 4 consecutive, isn't it?
It is.
And Cole really has been the lone bright spot for the Hilltoppers.
That's Arrington. And the rebound bouncing over into the hands of Studevant. Burwell trying to back up that 3, and he draws the foul. It's going to be on Western Kentucky. Going to be called against Price. His second.
You're going to take a look at Kevin Burwell knocking down this 3 and then going eye contact for President Obama.
Kevin Burwell up the line, shooting 2.
That clip will be played back in the family
forever,
for generations.
That's right.
Burwell's at the line now. The senior from Philadelphia.
Well, he's had some type of an efficient game thus far, Kevin Burwell.
I'm not sure you want to stare at the president too long.
No, he
did.
He did it. He was right within the shot.
I'm just saying, a lot of Secret Service guys here. And by the way, a lot of NCAA people here. I can't tell the difference. Who's NCAA? Who's CIA? Who's Secret Service? They all look alike.
They got the same pins on.
Yeah.
That's what you were saying.
That's how it's supposed to be, blending in.
And Burwell hits both. He's got the last 11 points for Mississippi Valley State. And the lead is 8. And that's going to be a foul call against Crosby. His second.
I'd like to see Western Kentucky set up some pressure release type plays, some backdoor action where they can use Mississippi Valley State's defensive pressure against them.
In order to do that, Steve, you got to take care of the ball.
Yeah.
And you've got to be strong with the ball and good with it. Otherwise, whatever you run, I understand what you're saying, but Western Kentucky has to be a lot better handling the ball against the pressure.
Yeah.
Well, there they had it knocked loose initially out of the hands of Fant, who sat most of that first half.
Sure did. He only played 5 minutes, Jim.
With the 2 fouls. He's an integral part of this team for Western Kentucky. Number 44. Closing in over here on Crosby's 3. Joyner kicks it back out high. Back over to Joyner on the wing for a 3.
They got 2 good looks at it there.
Price racing up the floor, lobbing it down low. A Cole back out to Price for the 3. It's short. Exit pass out to Burwell. To the corner. Joyner inside, and that's a clean block. A Cole. Wow, throws it up off the glass for 2.
Well, this pace has certainly freshened, hasn't it? I mean, these guys are getting up and down and starting to put the ball in the basket a little better.
And that is Arrington. And he is fouled there by Price.
Western Kentucky fouls
Number 3.
TJ Price, his 3rd, team's 2nd.
One more look at Burwell's big moment. Hits the 3. And says, "How did you like that?" Second team in, along with the Colorado Buffaloes, who won that conference tournament in South Florida out of the Big East. As Arrington will shoot one more, a little bit more, if you will, about that game he had at Chapel Hill. This young man at the line right here, a freshman from Baltimore. His 33 went against Carolina. His next highest output of the season was 17. His 33 against, at the time, #1 North Carolina, the most scored by any player against the #1 ranked team all season in college basketball. And here come the Delta Devils again.
Good defensive job that time to hem up.
Price taking it in, and the basket will count. He did this once in the first half with determination, barreling down the floor.
Jim, that was beautifully done. Excellent body control, coming right at you, folks. Slides a bit away from the defender and then goes right through him. Excellent concentration. Well done by T.J. Price.
And it's a three-point play, much needed, as the Hilltoppers have come from 8 down to 3.
Well, at some point, I think Mississippi Valley State has to get Paul Crosby going. He's just not found his rhythm thus far tonight. Nor has Joyner, really. It's been all Burwell for the most part.
And that's a traveling call. 7th turnover on Mississippi Valley. How about that schedule you talked about, Steve? Earlier in the game, Mississippi hitting the road so early in the season. Second hardest non-conference schedule in the nation.
Well, you look at the graphic, at the bottom part of that graphic, made almost $800,000 from guarantees from those games, and that's critical. This is an athletic department that has a budget of $4 million. Compare that to University of Wisconsin, $88 million. So you get an idea of what some of these SWAC teams have to go through. So a lot of them really load up on the big-time teams, helps them run their operation. But to come back from 1-11, which is where they were, pretty impressive to be here now.
And it prepared them for conference play as they rolled through at 17-1 in the regular season.
Boy, they've had some good looks here. Foul call on Mississippi Valley State. It is called on Crosby, his 3rd. Well, that stretch included, I mean, it was a big game collection of juggernauts at Notre Dame, at DePaul, at North Carolina, at South Carolina, where they actually were up 10 late in that game but lost on the road. At Arkansas, at Northwestern, at Ole Miss, at Florida, at Wisconsin. I mean, it's pretty amazing. Bliss has Pugh hits a 3 like he did earlier. Well, it was a first half slam dunk and a 2-point jumper. And that one was a 3.
That was a big one, too, because the momentum was starting to shift.
That's right. And Sean Woods, even though Crosby has the 3 fouls, Steve, has not moved to take him out of the game.
Yeah.
You and I were talking during halftime about how we don't automatically think a player with 2 fouls or even a 3rd in the second half, 2 fouls in the first half, should immediately be taken out. Sean Woods going to trust his senior to be able to play with 3 fouls here.
Well, it's already a very thin front line for Mississippi Valley State. They really only have 2 big guys, you know, with Crosby and Studevant. So I think it's the right call for Sean Woods, but Paul Crosby's going to have to be very careful out there.
The Mississippi Valley State, again, this is a 5th trip to the NCAA tournament. Western Kentucky is no stranger. This is their 41st all-time NCAA tournament game. And they were in the tournament in 08, made it to the Sweet 16. In 2009, they won a game as well. They've won 18 games in NCAA tournament history, including a Final Four back in 1971. They are not strangers to the tournament. And this is going to be a traveling call on Ting Cole.
Cole just doesn't have the strength right now to get deep position, and he can be bumped off his spot fairly easily, and that time got muscled into a walk.
Low to Crosby. Nice move, and he finishes it off. his first field goal of the game. Crosby with 3 points.
Jim, he averages 13 a game.
Yep. Again, the conference player of the year. Nifty move by Gordon, and the pass deflected to the corner. Here's an open shot. McDonald. Fant with the rebound. Fant loses it going up. And Mississippi Valley State has Joyner in there battling.
Plenty of hand fighting and slapping going on in there.
Call the foul on Gordon.
Yeah.
Well, the struggles of McDonald, Gordon, and Fant. I mean, these were the 3 key guys in that Sun Belt Conference tournament run. None of them really have gotten it going here.
Exactly right, Steve. You mentioned in the first half, McDonald made 13 of 25 threes in the conference tournament.
There is Gordon with the rebound.
Well, he has a terrific knack for going after the ball. Excellent timing.
Here's Fant. They need to get him going. Steps up Zolo, a 3, and he's got his second one of the game.
Solo, 3-point basket.
Down to the corner. Joyner short with the shot. Rebound tapped out to McDonald. Zips it middle, and Gordon lost the handle. Gets it back, and he's fouled. Fouled by Pugh. It'll be 2 shots at the line. 3rd foul on Pugh.
I'll tell you what, it hasn't been a very productive night for Gordon scoring the ball, but you like this guy's stick-to-itiveness as we look at him getting to the, actually that Zolo knocking down the triple on the last possession.
Derek Gordon at the line, the freshman from Plainfield, New Jersey, out of St. Patrick's High School, where he played with Kyrie Irving on that team and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, who we would like to meet up with in the next round. One of the stars of the Kentucky Wildcats. You can watch every 2012 March Madness game live on your computer, iPad, iPhone, or select Android phones with NCAA March Madness Live. Visit ncaa.com/March Madness for more information. Yeah, so Gordon comes out of a pretty impressive program back in New Jersey. Top 100 recruit coming out.
Committed early as a sophomore. If he hadn't, I think he might have had plenty of more offers from some Big East school.
Crosby again. That's the second power move he's made in the last few minutes.
Zolo was trying to draw a foul, and a good job by the officials to play on there.
McDonald shot short, tapped up over the cylinder, over the backboard. It'll go to Mississippi Valley State out of the break. So Crosby has powered his way a couple of times, and the Delta Devils are up by 6. Feel to it too.
Old school basketball, Jim.
Yeah, it really is a great venue from that standpoint. Intimate.
A lot of history here.
Major history. Yep.
You know, this town is so into it that on Sunday night during the selection show, downtown on 5th Street, down in what's called the Oregon area, 15,000 people. Oh, it got quite a highlight there. They set it up to Cor-J Cox.
Oh, man.
15,000 showed up to watch that selection show. The steal here to find out who all was going to be coming to their town, and it's going to stay with Mississippi Valley. Look at Burwell set up Cox.
Break out the trampoline. Go upstairs, young fella. Woo-hoo. Cor-J.
Tying their largest lead. Harrington with a 3, and it's long. And that's Fant with the rebound. Fant trying to make the move. It's had a quiet night. On the floor, Zolo saves it, then throws it too high. And another turnover by the Hilltoppers. Their 20th of the game. Here's the tournament summary. 9 Big East teams make the tournament field, most of any conference. South Dakota State, Norfolk State, earning first ever bids. And of course the big news out of Syracuse today that Melo's out for the tournament, ineligible.
Devastating blow there, Jim. He means so much to what they do, anchoring that back line of the zone defense, and really it improved offensively as well. And Syracuse is going to have to adjust on the fly.
And that was Pugh with the basket driving to the hole. He's
you love to see that intensity.
Runs into Chris Rasmatter, one of the officials. Maybe this is Western Kentucky's comfort zone, getting down double digits in the second half.
The same thing, Jim. I saw him come back from 13 down at about this same time in the championship game of the Sun Belt. And they did it by knocking down threes. McDonald has yet to get a look. That's a great look for Price that's just short.
Couldn't ask for a better shot.
And a nice push ahead by Burwell. And that's something we haven't seen Western Kentucky do, Steve, is push the ball ahead with the pass.
Yeah.
They tried to do it a little more off the dribble.
And Mississippi Valley State is the quicker team, the more athletic team, and they've taken advantage of every possible opportunity that they've had in the open court. And Western Kentucky, it's been a grind just trying to find anything. That last possession may have been their best and most efficient.
It was one of them.
Offensive possession all game.
Hugh now with 10 points. Critics are calling it the funniest, most ridiculous show in years. Don't miss the return of True TV's daring new comedy, Impractical Jokers, Thursday, March 29th, 10 p.m. The foul was on McDonald, his second, and now Pugh.
Young man having some kind of night off the bench.
He is. He's got 12 and makes the margin 12. Joyner checks in for the shooter.
Well, it's so valuable to have a guy who can come off the bench and give you major production in limited time. Cole gets it pushed ahead, and there's Price going 1-on-3. And lucky to get the ball back.
Western Kentucky trying to put an end to an 8-0 run. But everything is contested. Every pass, every trip down the floor.
Well, the point Steve made about the quickness and athleticism advantage that Mississippi Valley State has, and here's another example of it.
Knox over to Joyner. And that hit the back of the backboard. It's going the other way. It's got to feel like for Western Kentucky that Mississippi Valley State must feel like they have 6 players on the floor.
They're all over the place.
Which is part of the story.
Yeah, that's right.
Of the Hilltoppers season. They lost the game to Louisiana Lafayette when they found out that there had been 6 on the floor for the opposition at the end of the game for the winner. That would actually mark the final game of Ken McDonald's reign as the head coach. McDonald had taken them to the tournament, had success, but the program was drifting. And then that bizarre finish happened against Louisiana Lafayette early in January. Ray Harper, his assistant, got the job on an interim basis. And then February the 19th, they anointed him the full-time coach. A dream come true. And they haven't lost since. But in trouble here with 9 minutes to play. Make it 14 as Crosby dunks it down.
That was well done. 4 out, 1 in. And the big fella using that size advantage over a call to get really good position inside and a great post feed.
Another sloppy moment up ahead. Joyner trying to save it. Almost lands in the president's lap. As that ball then saved and a foul committed on Western Kentucky.
And President Obama and Prime Minister Cameron enjoying the spirited play of the Delta Devils.
Foul on Crook, his second. Puts Arrington at the line.
Brent Arrington at the line, shooting 2.
Hilltoppers better be careful. This is starting to get away from them. 8:40 to go.
In for Western Kentucky.
As McDonald returns to the floor.
And it's not just the score, it's the manner with which it's happened. I mean,
well said.
How many positive half-court sets and instances of good execution have we actually seen from them? Maybe 1 or 2.
Not many.
Akamene also comes back out. Missed the chance to get the lead to 16. There's the jumper off the rim. And that's going to stay at this end of the floor.
That's a good early offensive look there. It just doesn't go down for Crook.
McDonald with the three. And that's Crook down low. Waits. Tapped out to Arrington. Failing to convert inside. And that's Fant committing the foul. His fourth. Fant wearing that number 44 that at one time belonged to his cousin, Jim McDaniels. One of the biggest stars in Hilltopper history. Took that 71 team to the Final Four. Clem Haskins. Their cousins, Fant and Jim McDaniels. McDaniels is here tonight. Fant's going to come out with the 4 fouls. And there's Jim McDaniels. Brought the number kind of out of retirement. They don't really retire the number, they retire the uniform. But they did go back, and Jim McDaniels said with his blessings he'd love to have his cousin wear it. And he's honored it this season with 10 points and 6 rebounds a game as a freshman.
He sure has, Jim, and he's going to sit now because he has the 4 fouls, but you saw him showing some emotion out there before he went to the bench. Has leadership qualities even though he's a freshman, in part because he works so hard and he's been so consistent in his performance.
The last 11 points have gone to Mississippi Valley State. Arrington loses it on the way up, but draws the foul.
Well, you can see the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers getting frustrated now. They just can't find anything good, or not. They can't make anything good happen. Turning the ball over, not making the few open shots they get, and the frustration is starting to mount.
Third foul on Khalil McDonald. So Arrington gets a couple. You can't talk about Mississippi Valley State without talking about their most famous alum, the most famous student athlete. That would be Jerry Rice, who teamed up with Willie Totten, the quarterback back in the mid-'80s. Willie, the satellite Totten, and then went on to have one of the biggest careers in the history of pro football with the 49ers. He was a product of the Mississippi Valley State system.
If I recall correctly, those football teams were scoring a lot more points than what the basketball team has scored here tonight.
You got that right. Missed free throw that could have increased it to 17. Up ahead, got the numbers 3 on 2. Zolo's hit a couple so far, not this one. Gordon, he'll go to the line.
Tell you what, this kid just really works, Jim. I'm impressed with his effort.
Four walls and a
positive feeling, because right now they've just been a bit frustrated because they haven't seen the ball go in the basket.
Derek Gordon will get one more.
Well, I've been impressed with this young man. He's not shot it well, not scored at his average, but boy, he's been persistent. He's been on that glass, and he's only a freshman, so you can see that he'll have a chance with work to become a really impactful player.
Full court pressure now by the Hilltoppers. They just ended the 11-point run. Lob and another dunk for Cox.
That was a pretty good play by Crosby, wasn't it?
Great play, great pass.
Yeah. A nice pass. Wow.
Gordon, yep, missing the baseliner. And it's Pugh. Ball on the floor. Price picks it up. Gordon put back, no. Tip, no. That's 3 tries down inside. It stays with Western Kentucky.
Excellent execution of the 2-on-1 here. The pass thrown over the defense. And Crosby puts it right up there for Cor-J Cox. And we've already seen him elevate. Let's get it in the neighborhood. Cor-J will do the rest.
Hilltoppers have missed 15 of their last 16 from the field. Double up on a Cole. Gordon kicks it out. McDonald. And they've had 5 tries on this trip, and it finally decides to drop.
Another rebound for Gordon. That's 11 on the night. He is relentless attacking that glass. The problem, though, is he keeps getting sucked into that paint area, and that's one of the reasons we've seen so many runouts from Mississippi Valley State.
I tell you what, if you got a guy who can eat glass like that, somebody on his team better get back.
Nobody else should be getting back. Absolutely.
That's exactly right. You don't keep him from going to that glass.
There's a steal. And the numbers belong to the Hilltoppers. And the ball knocked out by Burwell, no foul.
McDonald just hasn't been able to recapture the magic he had last week when he caught fire during that Sun Belt Conference tournament. 0 for 6 now, including all 3 misses from three-point land. He's a key guy for them.
No question about it, Steve.
Fans back on the floor with the 4 fouls. Got the size advantage here, but there's help. And there's a foul against the Delta Devils. Called on Arrington. His third. Fan will be at the line. We're talking to the folks from Western Kentucky yesterday. They talked about how much weight he has lost in the last 2 months of the season. Very unusual. Steve, you said I haven't heard anything like that. Almost 20 pounds since January.
Yeah, it's something Ray Harper made a priority. He said when he took over the job, he didn't feel like the team was in good enough shape. So he really put Fant on a conditioning program. But yeah, normally that happens in the offseason, not in mid-season. But it sure helped him. He's been really a good player for them last month.
He sure has been. I mean, he's a force. He comes at you relentlessly. He's got pretty good hands. Love his motor. You're just watching these engaged and going at you.
As Burwell to help break this game open. And they keep possession here and a new fresh 35. Arrington takes it to the paint, backs it home. Beautiful shot.
Perfect possession there. Used up most of the clock and still ended up with a bucket.
And yet another turnover. Up ahead, Joyner gives it to the trailer. Cox gets the roll off the back of the rim. And the lead's back up now to 16. Actually biggest of the game. Price, back of the rim on a 3. Gordon. Fant is fouled on the shot.
In transition, here's Joyner recognizing that Cox was behind him, and a tough, well-executed finish that time by Cor-J.
He's had a few spectacular finishes tonight.
Fant, the Sun Belt tournament most outstanding player, had 17 in the championship game against North Texas. That got him into the tournament. Their 4th win in 4 nights.
Jim, in that game, when they were down 13, he scored 7 points himself to kind of be the catalyst in that come from behind win.
I think Ray Harper felt like he had an advantage on the front line in this game, just with his depth with Fant and Cole and Zolo. But good credit to the Delta Devils between Crosby, Studevant, and then the smaller Cox. They've really kind of controlled the paint area.
That is a quick basket by Gordon. They made the steal off this free throw. Trim at the 13. That ball knocked loose and into the hands of Gordon.
You need not be attacking there without an advantage.
That's going to be a foul on Crosby, and that'll send Crook to the line. 4 on Crosby. Still got 4:29 to play here.
Exactly. There was no reason for Pugh to attack without a man advantage, and there you see the foul on Crosby as Crook heads to the hoop, and Sean Woods wants to call a timeout to talk about it. Very disappointed with that last turnover.
Free throws coming up for the Hilltoppers, down 13. 4:29 left.
Why did I roll over my...
Off the incredible rally here at the end and have that opportunity on Thursday. But one more coming here. They don't have many chances to waste. Down to 12. It had been 16. Woods wanted to settle his team. He called that timeout. And there's another timeout called as Gordon and Price had the double team right at midcourt.
Well, if you're Mississippi Valley State here, you and I were just talking, Steve, just use your head, be smart, handle the ball, spread it out, and don't force bad shots.
That's Pugh missing on the driving, slashing shot. Western Kentucky has ratcheted up the intensity here in the last minute.
Well, they believe they can come back, Jim. I mean, that's all they've done throughout the Sun Belt Conference tournament. They think they can come back. They believe that a double-digit lead is not insurmountable.
That was Fant with the basket. 6 unanswered by the Hilltoppers.
And don't forget, Mississippi Valley State had about a 20-point lead as we see another turnover. But in that SWAC final, they had a 20-point lead and gave up almost all of it. Ended up winning that game by 2 points.
Well, another turnover by the Delta Devils. We got the under 4 media timeout. Ball belongs to Western Kentucky when we come back. Sloppy here for Mississippi Valley State in the last couple of minutes.
They totally lost their spacing offensively, and they haven't handled the traps well at all.
As Price driving in and one. That's 8 unanswered now for the Hilltoppers. How things have suddenly changed.
Big time, Jim. This guy's been getting to the hole all game long. He just hasn't been finishing, but you see how strong he is. He gets into that lane with those shoulders squared. You're not going to keep him from getting it up on the rim. And he just went right through Arrington. And then Fant, in an effort to get over to congratulate his teammate, gave Arrington an incidental bump.
He has fouled out with 7 points and 7 steals. But he's finished for the night. Here's Price. They can trim it to 7 and does.
Wow. This thing has turned drastically. And what you said, Steve, is exactly right. The inability of Mississippi Valley State to handle this harassing defense. There's a foul on Gordon.
It'll be a 1-on-1.
So free throw shooting becomes the issue for Mississippi Valley State. If they're strong with the ball and move it and space the floor, you're going to get a shot or you're going to get fouled. And then it's a matter of knocking down your free throws. But if you play on your heels, and the aggressive defense is going to disrupt you and force turnover.
But you've got to space the floor and get to your spots.
Right.
You know, I'm not sure I ever believed in the old adage, press a team that likes to press. You know, that like pressing teams don't want to be pressed themselves. But that seems to be the case right here.
9 out of 20 on the night from the line. Mr. Kentucky lucky to save it here, and now they don't. They turn it over. Their 26th turnover of the game, and that's a season high.
Boy, that's a big one, too. I mean,
it's amazing that they're within 7. I mean, 26 giveaways.
Yeah.
And they're within 3 possessions.
There you go.
Well, spins around.
Get it swung. You got to get it to the opposite side. The ball moving from side to side goes much faster than bodies will.
Burwell has it taken away. Akamene comes in and ducks it down to 5. Another steal. Fant behind the back up, and nobody's fouled. He'll go to the line.
Well, over dribbling again. He thought he was going to spin, got bumped, but he turned into the defender. Akamene was just in solid position. And then this is just carelessness. Pugh, a one-hand pass right in the middle of a defender.
And what is his teammate doing right next to him?
Crowding him, exactly.
Pant with 2. Gets the roll on the first one.
Hey, you've got to give credit to Western Kentucky. They haven't stopped. But anytime you cough up a 16-point lead this quickly, you're cooperating with the opponent.
He was 16 at the 4:52 mark. Now it's down to 3. 13 unanswered. In 2 minutes. Burwell lost the handle, now puts it up. No. And here come the Hilltoppers. Gordon driving in. Down the one. Down the one. No stopping them. Timeout, Mississippi Valley State.
Handling the ball, it's just shocking.
It really is.
14 unanswered by the Hilltoppers. And let's see if this last timeout will finally settle them. No, another takeaway. And then the foul, the reach-in foul against Joyner. His third. He'll be shooting 2. It's the double bonus.
Remember, this is the senior-laden team, Mississippi Valley State. They've got seniors on the floor right now, but they're the ones who look like freshmen.
They're rough. They're flustered, rattled, bamboozled, confused. And the Hilltoppers just keep hilltopping.
Gordon can tie it with this free throw. And he'll have one more. Panchkovic comes in. Luka Panchkovic, a freshman from Serbia. He's only seen a couple of minutes of action. He checks in. Gordon with 11 points, all in the second half. Wow, short with both of them.
He short on both of those. That might give Mississippi Valley State the reprieve it needs.
Burwell slips and is right back to the Hilltoppers. They've got a 5-on-3. Gordon in the lane. And a foul called the basket. It fell through. They wave it off.
Boy, Gordon had a chance to give a teammate a layup, I thought. I like his aggressiveness, but he had a chance to create a layup right there to the left. There was somebody open. Let's take a look at it again. See, I thought, well, no, I'm mistaken. I thought Crook had moved to the
Crook stayed in the corner.
He did stayed out.
Timeout, Western Kentucky. They'll be going back to the line for the line. It's astonishing how short these possessions have been for Mississippi Valley State. I mean, the ball is turned over within seconds.
They haven't gotten a shot, Jim. Gordon, a 70% free throw shooter on the year. It's about lifting it up a little higher here. And he should be focusing on getting that ball up a little more.
Well, when you're short, you're tired. The legs are tired, and I thought that might be one of the reasons why Coach Harper called the timeout, to give his free throw shooter a chance to catch his breath.
Great point.
In this furious timeout that he's, this furious comeback that he's helped lead. So that's 3 in a row that are just off the front of the rim.
Got to make the adjustment now. Bend the knees. Get a little extra something there.
There he is. He's doing it this time. And he's 0 for 4. But Mississippi Valley State can't handle it. It goes off their hands and out of bounds. Western Kentucky has not led since 4-2 in the opening minutes of this game. They feed it inside, and Cox has the steal. And it's going to be a reach in on Western Kentucky.
Wow. He got a chance to take the lead in a lazy post feed down the middle of the lane with defenders all over the place.
He got 4 free throws at the line, 4 times to tie it or possibly take the lead. Now Cor-J Cox will be shooting 2. Double bonus on both sides.
Just a battle of attrition.
1:54 to go. They've given up 15 unanswered. And that one twice tried to go in and rattles out. Cox has had the 2 highlight reel dunks in this half. Now just trying to get the free point. And he does. The lead is back to 2. Fant will give it back into the hands of Gordon. To Crook. And Western Kentucky again trying to tie it or take the lead on this possession.
They're going to try to post up Fant and they threw it away. Gordon was rushing, anticipating that Fant was going to be where he wasn't, but in that situation, you've got to just handle the ball and wait until your post guy's ready.
Burwell feeds it to the side, and here's a jumper short, pulled down by Price. Got a man open up ahead. McCominay, he's blocked. Crook with the putback. The game is tied with 1:14 to go. 54-54. Timeout, Mississippi Valley State. So they've come all the way back from 16 down with 4:52 to play. Furious rally, and this ties it. 2 timeouts on the other side. A minute and 6 to go. Free, and Joyner is rejected. Chased down by Fant. What a block. McCominay was the one who blocked it. Fant on the baseline. Over to Crook, swinging it around. Gordon with the 3. No. Short again. It's Crook. Dishing inside, and no foul. No foul. They call it jump. A tie-up situation. The arrow stays at this end. How about
Here comes
the block?
Joyner. This is a terrific block. McCominay. And then an excellent play here as it looked like Cox and Crosby both got a hand on that shot attempt.
So far on the game.
I mean, these numbers are just, this is like video game-ish, these kind of numbers.
There's the ball into the hands of Gordon. Out to Crook. Coach Harper has them taking their time. Gordon feeds it. On the post, Price.
Still plenty of time, 20 seconds on the shot clock. Now, Mississippi Valley State, if in fact Western Kentucky scores, or even if they don't, no timeouts. No timeouts. They've got to be ready to make a play.
And Western Kentucky has to be careful with their transition defense. Everybody's crowding the glass.
Price puts it up and in for the lead. And a foul.
Wow.
Pugh committing the foul. Crook fed it on the inbounds play. And Price knocked it down and heads to the line.
Really well executed out-of-bounds play, freeing up Price. And now a huge free throw here.
Well, he's been a man around that goal. He hasn't made them all, but boy, he made a big one there.
And now for the first time tonight, the Hilltoppers have a 3-point lead. A 21-2 run.
Pick and pop. They played it well.
This could tie it. Burwell back of the rim. And ball into the hands of Crook. And a whistle. There is a large Western Kentucky contingent here. It's about a 4.5-hour drive from Bowling Green to Dayton. And they are 16 seconds away, the Hilltoppers, from finding themselves only 90 minutes from campus on Thursday for a little Battle of the Commonwealth. Let's see if they can finish it.
Got to make some free throws first.
Look at the line again. Double bonus. 2 shots coming. No timeouts again. One more time, Mississippi Valley State. The Delta Devils looked like they were on their way to their first ever NCAA tournament win in school history. 16 up with 4:52 to play. 2-possession game now.
Whatever you do, you got to go fast. It doesn't have to be a 3, but you got to go quick.
Burwell inside. Beautiful move. Down to 2. 11.8 seconds. Crook is fouled. by Joyner. 2 at the other end coming. Nice job by Burwell to keep the Delta doubles in the game.
Joyner, his 4th.
Brooks will be at the line for 2. They've got 4 Hilltoppers all the way back at the other end of the floor. 63% on the season. Now the one that will be so crucial. Price comes all the way up to congratulate him on that make and retreats. Still a chance. A 3 to tie with 8 seconds. Delta Devils need the 3. It's Joyner to Burwell from the corner. It's long. The putback block. Putback again. Drops, but it's not enough. Western Kentucky pulls off one of the great comebacks you'll ever see in NCAA tournament history.